Welcome to Savvy Business, Life Unscripted, with your host, Christina Rivera, where our guests share their wisdom and valuable business tips, empowering our audience to expand their personal potential.
Hi, Dr. Marta Pazos. I welcome you to Savvy Broadcasting Life Unscripted. I'm so grateful to have you here today, talking about a very important topic, importance of protecting your skin. You know, we talked briefly before the interview how important it is. I don't think about it enough. I love going out into that sun, but we don't realize that this is the largest organ on our body, and it's protecting the rest of our organs and our cells. And over time, some of my friends who are very pale have gotten like skin cancer from constant sun exposure and not taking care of their skin. So it is so important. But I'm grateful to have you share your expertise today.
Thank you, Christina. It's such a pleasure to be here today to talk about my favorite topic, skin, and my favorite subtopic, which is protecting your skin and the importance of it, right? Like you mentioned, skin is an organ, and not a lot of people realize right off the bat, skin is an organ. And like any other organ that we have, it has a very important mission for you, which is protecting you, right? Only that sometimes against certain elements, it doesn't do that great a job. And one of them is the sun. And we've all heard about these climate change and how the sun is actually harsher now than it used to be before, right? Mm-hmm. I do believe that is a fact. So we have to do even a better job. Let's actually think about a few decades ago when in the Western world, Asia is different in this sense. In the Western world, we were like, yay, I want to be tan and I want to look like, you know, I had the greatest vacation ever. So we didn't even protect our skin. The notion of SPF above 10 didn't exist again until like maybe, I don't know, the mid-90s or even the 2000s, like as a common thing, right? Unless you were a sports person, a skier or something like that. We didn't
Dr. Pazos, what I heard though about SP50, that after 30, it doesn't really help. Is that true?
That is very true. So SPF is actually, you know, I don't think that people really realize what SPF means. So SPF is sun protection factor, right? And it is actually the amount of protection that a skincare product provides to you with respect to the amount of protection that you would get if you didn't have any skincare product. So in other terms, what this means is how long it would take, how much power of the sun and how much radiation you're getting to get sunburn when you use a protective factor with respect to how you would get burned under the same conditions without that protective factor. So it's not only about the time of exposure, it is also like the length of the exposure is also the time of the day and also where you are on Earth, that it is going to determine that SPF's efficacy.
Now tell me, I had heard some of the products are actually more dangerous, the sunblock stuff, as opposed to even the sun. How do you know what's the best product to get as far as sunscreen and maybe which ones to stay away from?
So I'm sure that most of our listeners have already heard about these chemical versus physical SPF type of thing, right? So, it kind of like, it's for us chemists, is a little bit of not a total reality, a total truth to say it like that, since the physical protective factors also are chemicals. But, you know, for the sake of this conversation, let's just keep it like that. And I'm going to intervene with what I like to call them. So there is like these chemical SPF. So the chemical SPF contains ingredients that what they do, they're actually photoinitiators. So what they do is they absorb those UV rays, and in doing so, the UV rays will not penetrate through your skin and damage it, right? So, however, though, when these photoinitiators absorb this light, they decompose generally into radicals. We've all heard of the infamous, right? Free radicals. How we need to protect our skin against them. So most of the time what you're doing when you're putting chemical SPF is creating free radicals on your skin. So that's why I try to avoid them. And they are also known, I mean, there's studies that they're detrimental to the coral reef, the marine life, and all of those things, right? Yeah. Which is an added reason why I wouldn't put them. I actually don't put them on my skin for those two reasons. And also I saw how much damage they cause to packaging materials and decorations.
How do you protect your skin best from the sun yourself?
So what I do is I resolve to use what they call the physical SPF, right? The physical SPF, which I like to call it better mineral or inorganic, because what it does, it contains mineral salts. Those are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And what those do is actually, there is two theories about what they do. They can either reflect the sun or they actually filter it. So not that much of it gets to you. They also, it's also thought that they sort of decompose the UV rays, but I'm not so sure about that. I haven't really seen anything supporting that data. But at the end of the day, what this is that titanium dioxide is one of the most common minerals out there. Everything that is white has titanium dioxide on it, pretty much.
That's amazing. So does your products carry any of those type of things that they could use on their skin?
I make a physical SPF, and I actually also add another component, because the problem with physical SPF is that, especially when you have darker skin, it leaves white residue on your skin. So I add another component, which is also totally safe. I can't disclose it yet. So it can be concealed on the skin. You don't see it so much.
This is great because we're about to enter summer across much of the US. And so we want to get people taking care of their skin. Now, does food play a part in protecting your skin? What have you found there? Because as skin is the biggest organ in your body, I'm guessing food or nutrition plays a part in keeping it healthy as well.
There is always a correlation between how you treat your body from a nutritional and also exercise and drinking water standpoint with the way that your skin appeals. I don't think that there is like that there is like a one-on-one effect, so cause effect. So eat more of this, so you will have a better tan. Those things are so incredibly difficult to demonstrate that I am a scientist through and through. I need to see the data, but there is that factor that obviously plays a very important role. The better you treat your body in general, the better your skin is going to be, and the better your tan is going to look. Ooh. More like homogeneous across. Who wants to be patchy?
Yeah. Dr. Pazos, what I love is that I started working out swimming in the pool workouts, because I can't swim actually, but aerobics in the pool. And I found that when I get out, people are like, oh my God, your skin looks amazing. And I think it's that sweating or getting your body moving and just keeping the lymphatic system moving about in your skin, that I would come out looking very radiant, people would say. So yeah, I could definitely see your correlation there with nutrition and fitness and moving about. What do you think is the number one myth that people might have surrounding skin protection or taking care of their skin?
Well, I see that there is like so much information out there that it is very difficult to like follow one thing and stick to it, right? So, and one of them, like what I just mentioned, these chemical SPFs, I am concerned myself about them. I don't put them on. I rather put chemical SPF than none at all, for the record, right? So you still at least get a little bit of protection, but like with everything, there's no such a thing as a poison. I always say there's lethal doses. So if you're going to prolong if you're going to prolong the application, right, of those chemical SPF is going to be a lot worse than if you just do it once to protect yourself against that. So that's one of the things. One of the biggest myths that I see is the whole SPF above, a certain level. Right? Like people are like, oh, I'm going to buy SPF 50. I'm going to buy SPF 100. Yeah. So with a product, there is no proof. There is nothing demonstrates that you can actually get better burning rate if you want, talking about what we just discussed, this relative term of like, are you going to burn, like, how long is it going to take you to burn with the product and without the product? So there is really above 30. There is no data that shows that you can go farther than that. So bear in mind that skin protection is not a shield. It helps you be outside and be more protected, but it's not 100% proof. So not only do not rely on your SPF alone, but also keep adding it. So in what I mean by don't rely on your SPF alone is complement it with sunglasses, a hat, all those things. I lived in Asia and people walk around with their umbrellas, carrying their umbrellas. So yeah, exactly, a hat. A hat
Yep.
is one of
I
your
just
best.
bought this actually for my walk. So
There you go.
yeah.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have like one of these huge Pamelas. I love it. And then like the sunglasses that like it does, you don't even look like yourself. It's so cool, So why not? Being slightly tanned, sun-kissed is back.
Yeah, it is. You don't have to. My sister used to be obsessed in the 80s. She would go out with this, what do you call it? This thing that was metal thing and put all this oil on her face, come out all burned and hope that once the burn disappeared that she'd be super brown. And I'm like, but all you're doing is now she has a lot of skin damage years later and it just is not worth it. So sun-kissed where you look natural. You don't want to look super pasty, dark or something that's not your natural color. A little your own skin tone with just a little bit of, radiance to it is perfect.
A healthy glow.
That's healthy glow. That's what we're going for. So people, can they find all your skin products on rejuvaliftbeauty.com?
So far there's only one that you can find there, and that is for instant lifting of your eye bags and also wrinkles, right? So if you want to do that instead of resolving to do needles or injections or even the knife, right? Instead of doing that, I would recommend you to do that too, because those procedures are actually fairly young. Long-term results have not yet been seen in its full force, and I can tell you, I don't know anybody that has done them that is totally happy with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I would have thought there'd be more happier customers. I'm surprised. But, messing again, going under the knife, unless it's absolutely necessary, you had some damage to your face, an accident of some sort. But, leave it alone because so many people have done other things to their body. Oh, I just want to remove some fat and had other disastrous results. What for? Just so you can look a little teeny bit, skinnier or something?
Yeah. And it goes back, like, it generally bounces back, and whatever you had before is, once it bounces back, it's going to be even more visible. That's my experience anyway. I haven't done anything to my face and I don't plan to. I believe that skincare is the way to go.
Yeah, preventative, not after
preventative care. Exactly. Good nutrition and good hygiene for your skin. I think that we are, starting to work the word hygiene into more and more habits of our life, not just like personal care, right? But personal care in terms of just like taking showers or properly brushing your teeth. We are now talking about skin hygiene. We're talking about mental hygiene too, right? So
I love this proper hygiene. I love this, Dr. Pazos. And it's interesting. For years, I use this liquid soap. I like lavender, but I had never paid attention to the ingredients, which until recently, I realized a lot of them are horrid. You don't want to put them on any part of your skin. And I was just blown away. But I found a product, which I'm sure you've heard of, Dr. Squatch. I saw the commercials and all of the ingredients you can read. They're all natural ingredients. And it's funny because our great grandma and grandma probably made soap in the kitchen that was like this with maybe 5 ingredients, things you can read that are from the earth, that are natural. And oh my gosh, they work so well. I mean, I use it on my face and my body and my skin feels so much better. So I go natural.
I have to send to you my very well loved, I actually love it myself, Matte Mask soap. It has less than 10 ingredients, including preservatives, because make no mistake, cosmetic formulas must be preserved. I'd rather have a preservative and not bacteria on my skin, which can cause really bad infections, right?
Interesting.
So and it can happen. Unfortunately, unlike food, you don't eat it. Therefore, you don't notice right away that it's gone bad. And cosmetics tend to have a lot of perfumes in them too. So when it spoils, you can notice it. You will not notice. So always be careful. I mean, there are ways to preserve this. Parabens has been one that has already been banned by pretty much every manufacturer. But again, a preservative in time is better than an infection that you may not be able to cure, or may leave, marks behind.
That's scary. I mean, it's interesting. And let's touch quickly on bacterial stuff put into products, because I had a guest on several years back who was using a lot of antibacterial soaps and hand soaps and whatever, because she wanted to keep her kids safe. And she didn't realize that her youngest, they were using a lot of Purell type stuff and whatever, a lot on her kid's hand. And she ended up getting a skin bacteria, because there's good and bacteria on your skin. And we want the friendly ones to stay there and not disappear, and for the not so friendly ones to not be there. But the antibacterial stuff she was using so much on her daughter was actually killing all the bacteria, including the good ones. And so she got a really bad skin infection, ended up with 5 surgeries, and almost died. And I was like, whoa, I had no idea.
So be careful with the antibacterial stuff. I always... I actually do make a hand sanitizer, which I have a patent pending on it. And one of the ways that I've done this, I've tried to go around this whole antibacterial ingredients damaging the skin, which we'll get to right now, is by adding postbiotics, which are the products of fermentation, which can help regenerate your own cells, including your good bacteria, which form your skin biome, which is what comes down to, right? When you use a lot of antibacterial products, you're going to not only kill the bad bacteria that can cause infections, but also the good bacteria that keeps your skin balanced. So watch out always for those. And if you're going to do that, I don't know, you can even put some probiotic yogurt if you want on your hands after doing the antibacterial, the Purell thing.
That's a great idea. I hadn't thought of that. It's perfect. Well, yeah. I'm so grateful.
Or honey. Honey is always great.
Ooh, I love honey.
Honey is actually one of my superfoods to go.
Wow. Yeah. I love how I've been using honey a lot more. I had a chest cold for a week or two, so I was using a lot of honey. But this has been fabulous. I know you're working on some other products to come out soon. Where can people keep track of this so they can get all these wonderful products, both right now, which you shared prior on RejuvaLiftBeauty.com, but also in the future when you come out with new products, where can they find out and keep tabs on all of that?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Dr. Marta Pazos, and the same for TikTok. So bear with me, because I am currently starting all of this, and I am currently also under construction. There are 2 websites. One of them is Dr. MP Activate, and then there is Dr. MP Skincare. So all of those are currently in the process of I have a phenomenal team that is helping me with social media content, and with website building. And I also have a podcast coming up.
Ooh, yay. So where do they get to hear that? Where they should listen, or how do they get it?
So my podcast is going to be Activate Your Skin, which I think is a very catchy and like boom type of name, because that's what I really want to do. My philosophy is look good at your own age, because you can have fun with your skincare, because your skin will show, and less ingredients, more steps.
Oh, interesting. I love that. And you've given me great things to think about myself. I mean, I hadn't thought about my makeup going bad and maybe, getting an infection and whatever. So very good tips and strategies for me to think about, as well as our audience. I thank you so much, Dr. Pazos, for coming to share today on Savvy Broadcasting.
Thank you so much, Christina. It was such a pleasure to speak with you and all of you.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe, and share this episode. To listen to more savvy episodes and savvy biz tips, go to www.lifeunscriptedradio.com. To find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest, email Christina at lifeunscriptedradio.com.